Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mecha Ace Evil Run. Let's dive right in with Episode 6, A Desperate Retreat, an Unlikely Encounter. Caliburn Battle Group in transit to Fleet Base Crown, Vedria System. 36 hours later. Caliburn to Zaft Lead. I'm assuming that's from the captain. Caliburn to Zaft Lead. The incoming message shakes you free from your fugue state as your eyes focus on the glowing panels of your cockpit consoles in front of you. Escort duty has never been a particular favorite of yours. Long hours of staring at nothing and hoping that one of the points of lights in the distance will turn out to be an enemy contact is not an enjoyable way to spend the day. In this case, however, your inattentiveness comes from something other than mere boredom or ambience. Zaft Lead, this is Caliburn. Respond. The last day and a half have not been restful ones. While the Caliburn and the remaining ships of the Kodak Battle Group were able to make an escape from Vedria, you've had to escort the few remaining heavily damaged evacuation transports to the safety of Fleet Base Crown, where the rest of Kodak's main battle fleet is waiting. This means keeping pace with the much slower civilian vessels and constantly guarding them from possible lightning raids by the combat armatures of the pursuing Imperial Grand Fleet. For you, that's meant being on constant emergency patrol cycle. In all honesty, I think these stupid civilian ships are getting in the way. Unfortunately, it's not as if you have a choice. With the other combat armature lances in the battle group severely depleted, your outfit is the only one still capable of flying cover for both your home carrier and the civilian transports. That's meant long hours in the cockpit and a truncated detox cycle, giving you barely enough time to purge the combat drugs from your system before you have to get up for a new sortie and take another dose. The result has not been particularly pleasant for your physical or your mental well-being. You reach forward and activate the comms console. This is Zaft Lead. Send. Zaft Lead, we have unidentified contacts closing fast from the direction of the enemy fleet. We need you and Zaft Lance to confirm and engage if hostile. Keep them away from the evaluation. Oh.
Zaft Lead, we have unidentified contacts closing fast from the direction of enemy fleet. We need you and Zaft Lance to confirm and engage if hostile. Keep them away from the evacuation ships.
Watanabe adds.
We can't afford to have you lose any more of them.
Ooh. Slam. Well then, perhaps you'll be seeing some excitement today after all. You acknowledge your new orders wearily and order your lance into formation. They respond with equal exhaustion, their fatigue showing even through ragged movements of their machines. They've had to put up with the same schedule you have, and their relative lack of experience has negated any advantage they might have received from their younger, less war-ravaged bodies. You go through the standard pre-combat status check as your lance forms up behind you and give the order to advance. A few minutes later, you see the unidentified contacts come into range of your own tactical sensors. The distant blips appear on the screen, colored a bright red. Your machine's IFF package identifies them as hostiles. You open a channel to the rest of your lance. This is Zaft Lead. Contacts read as hostile. Confirm? A moment later, a Sadie appears on your comms screen. Confirm, boss. Enemy contacts read hostile, she responds wearily. The two of you haven't had any time to talk properly over the last few days, but you get the feeling that the constant patrol cycle is getting on your wingman even more than it's wearing you down. Is getting to your wingman even more than it's wearing you down. What are our orders, boss? You relay your findings to the Caliburn. Within seconds, you get a reply.
The captain wants you to engage the enemy. You are under no circumstances to allow them to attack the civilian transports or the Caliburn.
Oh, well, I thought there would be circumstances that I allowed them to attack the Caliburn. Armed with your new orders, you move forward to get a closer look and zoom in on the metallic specks in front of you, each glowing with the halo of thrusters on full burn. Your eyes narrow as a more detailed image coalesces on your main display. 5 Valiers charging forward at full speed. 4 of them are the bare gunmetal gray of the Imperial military, but the 5th, the one leading them, is adorned in bright blue and white. A mechanical chirping fills your cockpit, and your hand automatically reaches for your comms console. A pale, aristocratic voice appears on your screen, half hidden by a sky blue mask. We meet again, pilot. I look forward to facing you again, Hawkins says, his eyes intent. I have had the fortune to find someone capable of matching me in battle. Battles betwixt us are a rare pleasure. The Imperial Ace and the quartet of enemy machines formed up behind him continue to close with you. With time growing short, you open a channel to your lance and discuss tactical options. Unlike the last time, you can't simply retreat. If Hawkins tails your unit as it withdraws, the Imperials would not be able to attack the Caliburn and the Imperials would be able to attack the Caliburn and the undefended civilian transports. Running away is not an option. As the most skilled pilot in your lance, you would be best suited to face Hawkins. Thus, the obvious option would be to face the Imperial Ace with the rest of your lance, while the rest of your lance deals with the 4 machines accompanying his. With what you learned about Hawkins in your research, you know that the Imperial pilot would likely try to get you in a one-on-one duel anyway. Alternatively, you could order your lance to engage Hawkins while you dealt with his accompanying escort. While you have little doubt that your skills would be able to prevail against the regular Imperial pilots in regular Imperial machines, even outnumbered 4 to 1, your lance would be hard-pressed to deal with a pilot as good as Commandant Hawkins. Hawkins would definitely try to engage you personally in single combat regardless of the circumstances, and would aggressively tear through your lance mates if they tried to get in his way. Your unit will almost certainly take losses, but it would likely prevent you from having to face the Imperial Ace alone. Lastly, you could perhaps try to stall Hawkins by talking with him. That might buy you some time, or even give you a way to get Hawkins to call off the attack altogether. We are gonna face Hawkins one-on-one. I want to see if it's possible to take him out. You push your throttles forward, surging ahead of your lance's formation. All right, Zaft lead, I'm gonna take the lead machine. You guys take the others.
Boss, you're going to engage the blue mask by yourself?
Zaft 4 seems worried. Just because you held your own against the famed enemy ace once doesn't mean you can do it a second time. Your subordinate will get nowhere by objecting, though. Your mind is made up. Absolutely. Keep the escorts off my back. I'll deal with Hawkins. A second later, your lance mate acknowledges your orders and breaks off. You, on the other hand, continue to push forward towards the Imperial Ace. Hawkins' escorts break off from their own formation, moving to engage your subordinates. As far as you're concerned, the battlefield consists solely of you and the Imperial counterpart. How do you plan on fighting this duel? Oh, we're going to shoot him up from a long way. You pull out your particle rifle and aim at the incoming Imperial Ace, pulling your own machine back as you do. The enemy pilot senses your intentions almost immediately, and his steady, rapid advance turns into an erratic dance, each pulse of the battle's beat bringing your opponent closer. You aim as best you can at the charging Imperial Ace and open fire. Unfortunately for you, while your shooting skills might be considered good, they aren't good enough. Hawkins dances and twists his machine around your fire, flowing like water around each increasingly desperate shot fired from your weapon, closing with frightening speed all the while. Within seconds, the Imperial Ace dodges past your last shot and closes into melee range. The enemy pilot's infinitely swifter Valier custom is upon you in an instant. The enemy machine's offhand lashes out, lightning quick. This unexpected backhand stroke sends your particle rifle flying out of your machine's hands. Oh good, we've just lost the prototype particle rifle. The Imperial Ace, face still displayed on your comm screen, shakes his head. I'm afraid it won't be that easy, pilot. I must insist we settle this in a more primal fashion. Hawkins rushes forward, pinning your machine with the Valier Customs offhand while positioning his monosaber to strike at you. Well, this ain't good. The Imperial pilot's expression is one of deep disappointment. It appears that your own skills have atrophied since we last faced each other. I had expected much better from you, pilot, especially your impressive performance in our last engagement. He muses as he lines up the finishing blow. Perhaps next time you may prove that your first impressive attempt was more than mere luck. An instant before Hawkins can strike the final blow, the Imperial machine springs backwards, half a second before a barrage of particle rifle and autocannon fire tear through the space that the Valier Custom had just vacated. The Imperial Ace makes a hasty retreat, putting the distance between the two of you as other pilots of the Zaft Lance sweep down upon him, their own opponents reduced to shattered wreckage. Perhaps this is a blessing in dis- Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise, the Imperial pilot says as he continues to fall back. You have been rescued so that we may face each other again some day. The loyalty of your underlings has bought you precious time to hone your skills. It is clear that Hawkins has no intention of fighting both you and your lance at the same time. Apparently, the Blue Mask has a preference for one-on-one duels. The Valier Custom turns to face you as its pilot gets in a last few words. I hope we shall fight again when I hope you shall fight better when we meet again, pilot. Okay, so apparently shooting at him is not the way to go. Your lancemates quickly form a protective escort around you, covering your machine's rear and flanks. You can see that a few of your lancemates, Reiters and Grangers, carry some light damage and a few deep gouges where Imperial monosabers had bit their armor, but for the most part, your fellow pilots had done very well for themselves, taking out all 4 Imperial machines without a single loss. That was a close one, boss, Sadie says, her face popping up onto your unit-wide channel. Good thing we got rid of those impies quick enough to lend you a hand, huh? There's an air of arrogance to your wingman's tone, as if you couldn't have salvaged the situation yourself. Maybe your subordinate needs to be put in her place? For the sake of seeing if we can freaking wind up with a Sadie, we'll let her have that one. A Sadie nods and grins back at you. For the first time you've seen the ensign smile in a long time. We've all had bad days, boss. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I think that was the right call. Even if we're evil, we need an evil sidekick. Even so, you have to wonder how much of a hit your reputation as one of Kodak's best pilots is going to take, especially considering the contrast between how quickly you were taken apart by Hawkins in your duel, and how quickly the rest of your lance managed to defeat Hawkins' escort. After 5 years of war, some might even consider you to be in a slump, or worse, past your prime, after a disappointing performance such as today's. Had you denied that you needed help, you might have found a way to save face, but having admitted your need for assistance, people will begin to wonder. You shake your head to clear your thoughts. It's probably best not to dwell on it too much. Yeah, who cares about our reputation? Your lance begins its way back, your heavily damaged machine under heavy escort, guarded on all sides by the particle rifles and autocannons of your lance mates. As your unit begins the long trip back, you calm the Caliburn to make your report. Informing your home carrier of the failure to best the Blue Mask is hardly a happy duty, but it is an obligatory one. You dial in the carrier's comm signature and open a channel. A moment later, Watanabe's face appears on the comm screen.
We copy, Zaft Leader. Report.
Contacts confirmed to be Imperial combat armatures led by the Blue Mask. Watanabe pauses, shocked for a moment. Maybe the kid had never heard about your previous run-in with the infamous Imperial pilot. Excitedly, the kid turns to relay the information to the captain behind her. She turns back a moment later with a more sober expression.
How many losses did you take?
He beat me, you growl. He beat me in a fair fight. The kid's expression is neutral, almost as if she doesn't care at all. She takes a deep breath.
Get back to the Caliburn to have your damage patched up. We're still more than half a day out from Crown Station. The captain says we need you back on patrol as soon as possible.
You nod wearily. You still have a long way to go before you can rest. And we've reached a checkpoint. Let's save. Hooray, saving. A somewhat short episode today, but, come and take them as they come. So, lost to the Blue Mask. Probably should have tried to stab him. But, since you know what I should do? Just because it's been a little bit short. Let's just take a quick look at, so, our piloting is incredible. Perception is terrible. Willpower and presence, We are 100% a warrior. I don't know what the passion versus deliberation is. We have the Type 2, we have the Plasma Cutter, we have speed and armor at 3, which I'm assuming is good. And of course, ZAF 6, KIA. And let's just quickly hop in here. Oh, okay. Oh, well, let's take a look at this. Oh, no. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I was kind of wondering if it would show what the speed and armor of those things were, like the other ones, but oh well. Let's just hop in here for a second. Run away. Destroy the light bearer. Use the light bearer. Intimidation. Romance. 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 Uh, don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Ooh, this could be good. That'd be interesting. And those two are... Okay, well, anyway, with that all done, I will see you guys next time. Later.